The Cowboys are going to have conversations this week with Dak Prescott's agent, with Amari Cooper's agent, by the way. They're hoping to get both of those deals done before they have to use the franchise tag on either one of those guys, which would, again, be Thursday, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Are they likely to get both deals done this week? Probably not. Prescott's is very complicated. Obviously, it's been going on a while. But the fact that they are talking to both players is a strong indication that they want to get them both signed. And even if they do have to use the franchise tag on Thursday, it would be for what it's supposed to be, which is to hold the guy in place and keep him off the market while they continue to talk about a contract extension.
I mean, that's really what it's all about. It's about getting Dak Prescott done, but you know that that's complicated. That's going to take a little while. So what you want to do is you want to buy a little time. I think the priority right now has to be Amari Cooper because you want to know how much money you have to put aside for Dak Prescott. You know, putting a franchise tag is a good thing. But if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm trying to get this deal done as well because really it's nowhere, I believe, for him to go. I think this is the best situation for him. And I think I lean on Mike McCarthy, who took the job specifically because Dak Prescott is his quarterback.
And it's one of the fascinating little peculiarities about this week that the CBA vote will be announced like 8 hours after the deadline for franchise and transition tags. So if the Cowboys don't have deals done with Dak and Amari, or either of them at that point, they could put the franchise tag on one and the transition tag on the other. And then if the CBA goes through, one or the other of those just have to automatically be withdrawn, and that player becomes a free agent.
Absolutely correct. If the vote goes no, then you can use both tags. But if it's yes, then you can't, and that's something the Cowboys are well aware of. Obviously, they're dealing with it. They know which is which and which tag they would lose and all that kind of stuff. So yes, definitely worth watching.
And Bobby, you've said this whole time that Jerry Jones is going to get this deal done with Dak, but there are, as Greeny just pointed out, quite a few bit of complications that he's navigating around this.
So a no, and the CBA obviously gives them two tags. A yes gives them certainty on what the cap is going to look like into the future. And so when Dallas comes out and they offer Dak $33 million a year, probably the largest guaranteed money, and depending on how that's structured, in NFL history, do you want to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback? We're going to make you the richest player up to this point. To do that, it's really hard publicly, ultimately, to then turn that down.
The other thing that we're going to be watching out for on Thursday is whether or not the Titans franchise Ryan Tannehill. But it's not just as simple as that, because people will look at that and say, hey, that means if they do or they don't, they could think they're in the mix for Tom Brady. Maybe they think they're getting Tom Brady. They could franchise him, though, and then he doesn't have to sign it. What's going on with the Titans and Tannehill?
So if they put the franchise tag on Tannehill, it's up to him whether to sign it. And if he does, he's locked in on a one-year guaranteed deal for $27 million, something along those lines. If he doesn't sign it, and then let's say hypothetically they sign another quarterback early next week, someone whose name rhymes with Shmam Shrady, just to throw one out there, right? Hypothetically, then they could rescind the franchise tag on Ryan Tannehill. And then he would become a free agent, and they wouldn't be committed to him. So a little bit of game of chicken, I think, being played there. If they do franchise him, he can sign it and lock them in. It probably takes them out of Brady. And remember, they also have Derrick Henry, the free agent running back, who's a candidate for that franchise tag.
I mean, it's a delicate game that you're trying to play. You're essentially trying to set up dinner reservations and finding out who you want to go with. You send a text to person A, you send a text to person B. Yeah. Hopefully, A responds, but if they don't, and you can still get B, who's Tom Brady, and hey, Brian, too bad you didn't say yes. Right. We're ready to move on this then at that point.
But that's why if you're Ryan Tannehill, you make sure that you run, not walk, to sign that franchise tag to lock them in and secure that you have an opportunity to earn $27 million.
Well, that's interesting to me because you think that if he became a free agent, and let's say Brady, and by the way, you could have chosen much better words to rhyme with Tom Brady, but that's a different discussion for a different day. If Brady winds up in Tennessee, and we're going to get to him in a second, and Tannehill becomes a free agent, you think he will have trouble finding someone ready to break the bank for him?
Well, I think $27 million is a big ask for him. You think about this is probably the richest free agent market for quarterbacks. You have everything you need. You have Andy Dalton, who we know are going to be traded. We have Teddy Bridgewater. Jameis Winston is going to be let go. So you're going to have competition for those quarterback type of services. And we don't even know what the draft implications are for guys coming in the draft. Top 3, probably going to top 10.
I'll say this. If the Titans don't franchise Tannehill, then everyone's welcome to jump in with all the Tom Brady speculation they want, because that indicates that they're in the market for someone else. I'll also say that next time I'm having dinner with Bobby Carpenter, I want to know whether I'm A or B before I
Yeah, you're definitely C.
Just sort of put a ribbon on that part of it before we get to the next piece here. We're trying to give you a sense of how to interpret the things that will happen.
Yeah.
If the Titans do not franchise Tannehill on Thursday by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that is definitely an indicator that at least they think they have a good chance of getting traded.
Absolutely. It puts them in the quarterback market. We all know who the top quarterback on that market is. Obviously, that doesn't mean they wouldn't go ahead and try and sign Ryan Tannehill as a second choice, possibly. But yes, that will absolutely open the door to all that Tom Brady speculation to Tennessee.
We're so glad you're watching ESPN on YouTube.
For more sports, highlights, and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app.
And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus. We'll see you there.